Hello, myself Kishore N. Gujjar, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics. Today I am going to explain the parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. Learning objectives are study of parallel axis theorem and the study of the perpendicular axis theorem. We know that when rigid body rotate, it have tendency to oppose the change in the state of rest or uniform motion above the axis of rotation. Moment of inertia is not only depend on mass of object but also the axis of rotation. Same object can have different moment of inertia depending on which axis we are rotate it. For example, consider a rotation of a uniform rod. It is easy to rotate the rod about its center than its end. Another example is bicycle wheel. It is easier to rotate it about the center than a trim. There are two important theorems which can be used to calculate the moment of inertia about various axes. The theorems are parallel axis theorem and second one is perpendicular axis theorem. Next, we will move on to parallel axis theorem. We know that the same object can have a different moment of inertia depending where the rotational axis is. If the moment of inertia for an axis about the center of mass known, it is possible to find the moment of inertia of any other parallel axis. This is called parallel axis theorem. The parallel axis theorem, it states that the moment of inertia of a body about an axis parallel to the body passing through its center is equal to the sum of moment of inertia of body about the axis passing through the center plus the product of mass of the body and square of distance between the two axes. And it is given by the equation I is equal to IC plus mh square, where I is the moment of inertia of the body about an axis A dash B dash. IC is the moment of inertia about the center. M is the mass of the rigid body. H square is square of distance between the two axes AB and A dash B dash. Now let us consider a particle of mass m which is at a distance r from the center of gravity of the body. Let A dash B dash be the axis about which the moment of inertia is to be determined. AB is at a distance h from A dash B dash, which means that if you know the moment of inertia of the particle m which is at a distance r from the center of gravity, then we can easily find the moment of inertia of any other axis which is parallel to the axis passes through the center of gravity. That is the parallel axis theorem. So the distance of particle of mass m from A dash B dash is equal to r plus h. The moment of inertia of particle m about A dash B dash is equal to m into r plus h whole square, because we know that from the definition of moment of inertia is equal to mr square, where r is the square of distance from the axis of rotation. Here the distance of the particle m from the axis is r plus h. So that's why the moment of inertia is given by m into r plus h whole square. The moment of inertia of the body about an axis a dash b dash is equal to the sum of the masses of all the particles into r plus h whole square. Now we know that here r plus h, it is in the form of a plus b whole square. So that's why that equation become I is equal to sigma m into r square plus h square plus 2rh. So then I is equal to sigma m r square plus sigma m h square plus sigma m into 2rh. Here the sigma m r square is nothing but the moment of inertia of the body about its center of mass. So that's why it is taken as IC. So here the sigma m, that is the sum of the masses of the particle, is equal to capital letter M, that is nothing but the mass of whole body. Here the term sigma mr, it is the algebraic sum of the moment of different particle about the axis passes through the center of gravity. The body always balances about its center of gravity. The algebraic sum of all the moment about it is 0. That's why the term 2h sigma mr, it's become 0. Then this equation become I is equal to IC sigma m can be replaced by the whole mass of the body. Then that equation become I is equal to IC plus mh square. This is the parallel axis theorem. Next, we will move on to perpendicular axis theorem. This theorem is applicable only to the plane laminar body. Perpendicular axis theorem states that the moment of inertia of a plane lamina about an axis perpendicular to its plane is equal to the sum of moment of inertia of lamina about two axes mutually perpendicular to each other in its plane and intersecting each other at a point where the perpendicular axis passes through, and it is given by Ix plus Iy is equal to Iz. So perpendicular axis theorem is applicable only to a plane laminar body. So let us consider a rectangular lamina whose length is b and breadth is taken as a. So the moment of inertia about an axis, x-axis, passes through the center and perpendicular to the breadth, and the moment of inertia about an axis passes through the center and perpendicular to its breadth, that is along y-axis, it can be easily find out. But it is difficult to find out the moment of inertia about on a z-axis which is perpendicular to the plane and mutually perpendicular to the two axes x and y. In this case, we use perpendicular axis theorem to determine the moment of inertia along the z-axis. So consider plane laminar body of arbitrary shape lying in x and y plane as shown in the figure. The moment of inertia about the z-axis is equal to the sum of the moment of inertia about x and y-axis. To prove it, consider the moment of inertia about the x-axis, and it is given by Ix is equal to sigma mi xi square, where mi is mass of the particle at the point P and xi, it is the square of distance from the axis of rotation. Similarly, the moment of inertia about the y-axis, that is Iy, is equal to sigma mi into yi square, where yi is perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. Similarly, the moment of inertia about the z-axis, that is Iz, is equal to sigma mi into Ri square, where Ri is perpendicular distance of particle at point P from OZ axis. From the perpendicular axis theorem, we know that Ix plus Iy is equal to sigma mi into xi square plus sigma mi into sigma mi into yi square, because here we know the value of Ix plus Iy. Now take sigma mi as common, then it becomes sigma mi into xi square plus yi square. From the geometry of figure, we know that so ri square is equal to xi square plus yi square. Therefore, sigma mi into ri square. So we know the value of sigma mi ri square is equal to Iz. Therefore, this equation becomes Ix plus Iy is equal to Iz. This is the perpendicular axis theorem. Thank you.